I was on one knee at a Starbucks, holding a diamond ring made just for them and staring at Sophia Miller's frigid face. "That's enough, Liam." She didn't even look at the ring quickly before turning and going away. Low voices and understanding people in line behind me looked at me. Her out. My face burnt with humiliation. This was the 7th time, the 7th proposition she'd refused. I slowly got to my feet, putting the ring back in its box. $7,000. And she wouldn't even touch it. I remembered what she said the first time. "Liam, we're still too young. Let's simply wait." The second time. "I wish to focus on my career first, maybe after I get the promotion." The third. "This project has been very taxing. I just don't have a mental space for this right now." By the 7th time, she couldn't even be bothered to offer an excuse. As I walked out of the coffee place, my phone buzzed and I messaged from Ethan Vance. "Liam, strike out again." "Ha ha ha. I told you Sophia was out of your league. Why don't you just stay on the back burner where you belong?" I stared at the screen and something clicked into place. 7 proposals, and Ethan always knew the outcome instantly. And after every rejection, Sophia would coincidentally have a new collaborative project with the engineering department where Ethan worked. I wasn't an idiot. I just hadn't wanted to confess it. I removed Ethan's contact. Then Sophia's blocked her number, unfriended her on Facebook, banned her on Instagram, left every Slack channel I could. In 10 minutes, I had taken away every tie to Sophia Miller. 7 years of my life gone. Clean slate. Back at my apartment, I started packing up the things she'd left here over the years. Makeup, clothing, books, and the joint savings account passbook for the down payment for the house we were meant to buy jointly. I packaged it all up and had it sent to her place. By the time I finished, it was 10 hours. The apartment felt empty, yet I felt lighter than I have in years. Chris called. "Liam, you come to the team happy hour tomorrow? Is Sophia going to be there?" "Yeah, she's the product manager. Of course, she'll be there." "Then I'm not going." Chris was stunned. "Did you two have another fight?" "No fight. From now on, I'm just not going to any function where she's present." I hung up and sent a group text to a few other colleagues. "Hey, from now on, if Sophia Miller is going to be at any get-togethers, PLs don't include me." Message sent. I lied down on my bed and for the first time in a long time fell into a deep, restful sleep. To the next day, I went up to the office half an hour late on purpose. The product and tech departments were on the same floor, and Sophia's desk was immediately across the aisle from the main pathway. I used to always create excuses to accidentally pass by her desk just to talk to her. Today, I took the side entrance and headed straight to my desk without even glancing up. At 10 a.m., a Slack message from Sophia popped up. "Liam, I want to speak about yesterday. I deleted it without reading." At 11 a.m., another one. "Why did you block me everywhere? We need to talk about this." Delete. At midday, Chris walked over. "Liam, did you really break up with Sophia? She simply asked me why you weren't answering her texts. We were never together. How do we break up? But you guys, I chased her for 7 years and she never said yes. Now I'm done chasing. It's that simple." Chris opened his mouth but closed it without saying anything. At 3 p.m., I was deep in my programming when Sophia unexpectedly stood in front of my desk. "Liam, why are you ignoring me?" I didn't glance up. "Sophia, I'm working. If this is about a project, kindly write an email. If it's personal, we have nothing to talk about." "Personal? What do you mean you sent all my possessions back? Returning your property? Is there a problem?" Her voice started to shake. "Are you having a tantrum because of yesterday?" I stopped typing and finally looked at her. "Sophia, do you think after being fooled for fool's 7 moments, I should just keep smiling and play along?" Her face grew pale. "I didn't. You know exactly what you did." I turned on my headphones and went back to coding. She stood there for 5 minutes before biting her lip and going away. At 6, I got an email from HR concerning a obligatory project kickoff meeting the next day. I scanned the attendee list. Sophia Miller was on it. I replied directly to the invite. "Apologies. I'll be taking a sick day tomorrow." The next morning, I went to an urgent care clinic. When the doctor asked what was wrong, I mentioned I had chest pains and shortness of breath. Maybe a heart problem. I spent the whole morning getting tests done. The doctor stated I was absolutely healthy. I returned to the office with my doctor's note. The meeting was already concluded. Chris pulled me aside. "Sophia kept asking why you weren't there. She looked irritated. Ethan spent a long time calming her down." I scoffed. "Of course he did." That afternoon, Sophia came to find me again. "You skipped the meeting on purpose, didn't you?" "I was unwell." "I have a doctor's note." You're not sick. Are you a doctor now, Sophia? She was so enraged, her face grew hot, but she was speechless. From that day on, Sophia and I were in a full-blown Cold War. If she needed to discuss a project, I'd say I was occupied and tell her to talk to my team lead. If she sought to chat privately, I'd say it wasn't a good time and advise we stick to official channels. A week later, she finally snapped. 3 and Liam, what the hell do you want? Sophia was blocking the entryway to the break room, her eyes red. What do I want? I wish to conduct my profession in peace without being bothered. I received a drink of water from the cooler and tried to escape. She barred my path. Are you still angry about the proposal? I can explain. Don't. There's no need, Sophia. There's nothing between us. Please remember that. How can you say there's nothing? We've known each other for 7 years. Knowing someone for 7 years doesn't mean anything. I've known half the individuals in this office for that long. Tears started sliding down her cheeks. How can you be so cruel? I glanced at her crying and I felt nothing. Not a single thing. Cruel. Sophia, I proposed to you 7 times. Was that not enough devotion? Now that I'm choosing to let go, you call me cruel. I never outright rejected you. Not saying no is a no. We're adults. You should know that. I stepped around her and departed the break room. I could hear her sobbing behind me, but I didn't look back. The next day, I got a notification from HR. The company was cooperating with a big tech corporation on a new project, and I had been assigned as the technical lead. I saw the partner company's name and had a laugh. It was the corporation Ethan Vance had relocated to. This was Sophia's doing. No mistake about it, a way to push me to interact with her. I walked straight to the director of technology. Mr. Roberts, I'd want to request a transfer off this project. Why? This is a terrific opportunity, Liam. It's a major step for your career. Personal motives. I'd prefer not get into it. Mr. Roberts frowned. What's going on with you lately, Anderson? Your attitude has been off. I'm sorry, sir, but if being on this project is obligatory, then I quit. He was absolutely stunned. You're nuts. You'd abandon your work to avoid a project? Yes. In the end, Mr. Robert approved my transfer, but the news spread like wildfire. The entire department knew I'd almost quit, mainly to avoid working with Sophia. She cornered me as I was leaving work. Are you insane? You'd throw away your work just to get away from me. If I can't get away from you, then yes, I would. She completely broke down. Liam, why are you doing this to me? I never did anything to damage you. I stopped and turned to face her. You never hurt me, Sophia. Do you actually believe that? For 7 years. I recalled your birthday. I got you a gift every single time. When is my birthday? She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Where were you when I had the flu? Did you ever once check on me when I was working late into the night? I was preoccupied with work, busy enough to have dinner with Ethan, busy enough to go to the movies with him. The color faded from her face. Sophia, I'm not an idiot. 7 years of one-sided love. That's enough. I walked go without another word. I could hear her crying behind me, but my heart was a stone. For Sophia started trying to find me everywhere. She waited outside the business building, outside my apartment complex, and even follow me to the gym. Every time I spotted her, she would start crying and say we needed to discuss. I never said a word. The moment I saw her, I'd turn and walk in the opposite direction. Chris couldn't stand it anymore. Liam, Sophie is getting insane looking for you. What is going on between you two? Why should I care if she's going crazy? But she told me she regrets everything and wants to start over with you. I laugh coldly. Start over? What right does she have to say that? What is it that you know? I looked at Chris and finally told him she's in love with Ethan. Always has been. I was only a backup plan. No way. She texted with you every day because Ethan had a girlfriend and she wanted a distraction. Now that Ethan's single, she doesn't need me anymore. How do you know? I showed him the screenshots of Ethan's texts. After reading them, Chris's face flushed red with rage. That and Ethan. I never knew he was such a piece of rubbish, which is why I'm staying away. By the way Sophia is acting now, it seems like she truly regrets it. Regrets it. What does she regret? That Ethan doesn't want her. Chris fell silent. That evening, when I went out of the office, I saw Sophia standing on the corner. She had been waiting there every day for a week. Same posture, same area. Today, she looked weary. Her eyes were bloated and her hair was a mess. The second she saw me, She hurried over. Liam, please just listen to me. I ignored her and proceeded for the metro station. She followed me. I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. I walked faster. Liam, let me explain. There was never anything between me and Ethan. The proposals. I didn't mean to reject you. I stopped dead in my tracks and turned to her. Sophia, do you know what self-degradation is? She gazed at me, bewildered, chasing someone who doesn't love you for 7 years. That's self-basement. I've been stupid enough. I'm not going to be foolish anymore, but I do adore you. I laughed. You love me, Sophia. You don't even remember my birthday. What do you love about me? My money. The fact that I was good to you. Or did you just enjoy the manner I followed you around like a dog? Tears ran down her face. No, that's not it. I really forget it. I don't want to hear it. I turned and started walking again. She yelled after me. Liam, you can't do this to me. We have 7 years of history. I didn't look back. Those 7 years were my history, not yours. They had nothing to do with you. The next day, Sophia didn't come to work. Chris discreetly told me she called in sick. I didn't react. I just kept working. Around lunchtime, Sophia's roommate called me. Liam, Sophia's unwell. She has a high fever and constantly contacting your name. Then take her to the hospital. She refuses to go. She stated she's waiting for you. Sorry, I'm busy. I hung up. In the afternoon, her roommate called 3 more times. I didn't answer. That evening, Chris discovered me. Liam, Sophia is really unwell. You should go see her. She has nothing to do with me, but you're the only one she trusts right now. That's an issue, Chris. I mean it. From now on, don't tell me anything about Sophia. I don't want to hear it. Chris stared at me and sighed. You've really changed. I haven't changed. I've simply woken up. The 3rd day, Sophia's mother called me. Liam, Sophia's in the hospital. You should come see her. Mrs. Miller, Sophia and I are no longer in contact. What do you mean? Weren't you two about to get married? I halted. Mrs. Miller, did Sophia tell you we were getting married? She stated you had proposed, and she said yes. A bitter laugh escaped my lips. Ma'am, she rejected me 7 times. There was an extended stillness on the other end of the line. Liam, whatever. Sophia is very sick. The doctor says we need a family member to sign some forms. Her father is out of town on business, and I'm here alone. Mrs. Miller, I'm not her family. She has a boyfriend. You can call Ethan Vance. What boyfriend? Sophia doesn't have a boyfriend. She only has you. I, closing my eyes. Mrs. Miller, the person Sophia loves is Ethan Vance, not me. She may not have informed you, but it's the truth. I hung up the phone. It quickly rang again. I turned it off. When I went home that night, there was a lot of junk outside my door. All types includes fruit baskets, vitamins, and an envelope. The letter was from Sophia. Her handwriting unsteady, clearly written from a hospital bed. Liam, I know you're upset, but just give me one more chance. I know I did a lot of things wrong, but I have never not loved you. I rejected your proposals because I was terrified, not because I didn't love you. I was frightened I wasn't good enough for you, afraid I'd fail you after we got married. Please forgive me. I really can't lose you. I read the letter, tore it into pieces, and put in the trash. Then I brought all the baskets down to the dumpster. The next day, Chris found me, his eyes red. Liam, Sophia, tried to kill herself last night. She cut her wrists. The mouse in my hand stopped moving for a second. Then I resumed clicking. What does that have to do with me? How can you be so cold-blooded? She almost died. That was her choice. Chris finally exploded. Liam, are you even human? I turned to face him. Chris did that to guilt-trip me. It's emotional blackmail. If I go back to her because of this, she'll merely use more extreme techniques to control me in the future. But no, buts. Whether she survives or dies is her option, but she's not going to utilize it to force my hand. Chris looked at me with a mixture of disappointment and confusion. You've truly changed. Yes, I have. I'm not that simple to dupe anymore. The news that Sophia had attempted suicide spread through the office quickly. Everyone knew it was because of how cruel I'd been. Walking through the halls, I could sense my co-workers' odd looks. Some called me cold-blooded, others vicious. A few called me a jerk. I didn't care. They didn't know the truth, and I wasn't about to explain it. At lunch, a few female co-workers sat near me, talking loud enough for me to hear. Sophia is such a great girl. How could Liam do this to her? I know, right? 7 years together, and he just throws it all away. No conscience. I heard she's still in the ICU and Liam hasn't even gone to see her once. I resumed eating as if I hadn't heard a thing. That afternoon, Sophia's father came to the workplace to visit me. He was a compassionate, gentle man who has always been good to me. He used to say he'd watch me grow up. "Liam, you've heard about Sophia, haven't you?" "I have. She's not in a decent state. She keeps phoning your name. The doctors believe she has severe depressed tendencies and requires her relatives surrounding her. Mr. Miller, I'm not her family." He appeared taken aback. "But Sophia stated you two were all ready." "We were nothing." "Mr. Miller, for the previous 7 years, Sophia never once returned my feelings. The person she loves is Ethan Vance, not me." Mr. Miller's expression stiffened. "What did you say?" I showed him the text from Ethan. His face was bleak when he read them. "That bastard." "So you see, Mr. Miller, there's actually nothing between Sophia and me. The way she is today isn't because she's heartbroken. It's because she lost her free backup plan." Mr. Miller was silent for a long period before ultimately signing. "Liam, whatever the situation, Sophia is at a precarious place right now. For my sake, Mr. Miller, if I go back now, she'll think these extreme techniques work, and she'll only get worse in the future. It won't do her any good. But her condition, someone will take care of her. Isn't Ethan Vance so concerned about her? Let him do it." Mr. Miller stared at me, his eyes filled with disappointment and powerlessness. "You're truly not going to reconsider?" "Never." After he left, I got a call from Ethan. "Liam, what the heck is wrong with you? Are you a man? Sophie is in this state and you won't even come back." "Ethan, aren't you happy about this?" "Happy about what?" "She's finally gotten rid of me, her backup. Now you two can be together out in the open." "What are you talking about?" "I'm not talking nonsense. Ethan Sophia is your girl. Her life and death have nothing to do with me." I hung up and banned his number. That night, my mom called. "Liam, Sophia's mother just called me. She claimed Sophia's in the hospital and wants you to go see her." "Mom, there's nothing between Sophia and me anymore." "How can you say that? Didn't you two grow up together? Growing up together doesn't signify anything." "Mom, having my own life now. I don't want to be disturbed by her anymore. But the poor girl is." "Mom, I've made my decision. From now on, don't tell me anything about Sophia." My mom moaned on the other end. "Son, how did you become so heartless?" "I'm not heartless, Mom. I'm just finally seeing things clearly." I hung up and instantly felt weary, not physically exhausted, but mentally. 7 years of devotion, and for what? To be played for a fool, to be a backup plan, and ultimately to be emotionally blackmailed. Enough was enough. It was really, truly enough. A month later, Sophia was discharged from the hospital. Chris told me she'd shed a lot of weight and looked absolutely worn out. I ran into her in the elevator on her first day back. The moment she spotted me, her eyes got red. "Liam." I stared blankly at the floor indicator. "Liam, can we please talk?" I ignored her. The elevator reached my floor and I stepped out. She yelled after me. "Liam, do you really dislike me this much?" I paused and looked back at her. "I don't hate you. I really don't feel anything for you anymore." Tears flowed down her face. "That's not possible. You can't feel nothing for me." "Sophia, feelings aren't something you can just will into existence." The elevator doors closed, cutting off her cries. That afternoon, the organization had a planning meeting for the annual holiday celebration. I didn't want to go, but it was required for all staff. In a conference room, Sophia sat diagonally across from me. She stared at me the whole time, her eyes a mix of begging, resentment, and despair. I kept my eyes on my laptop and never once looked her direction. After the meeting, Ethan Vance suddenly stood up. "Everyone, I have an announcement to make." All eyes turned to him. "Sophia and I are getting married." The room became dead silent. Everyone looked from me to Sophia. Sophia's face was ashen. She shook her head. "No, I didn't agree." Ethan smiled. "Sophia is simply being shy. We've been seeing each other for a long time and decided to finally make it official." I watched the scene develop, an odd sense of enjoyment flooding across me. Sophia urgently sought to explain. "That's not true. We're not dating." "I never, Sophia. You don't have to deny it." Ethan walked over to her side. "A lot of folks here know about our relationship." He looked directly at me, especially Liam. He should know better than anyone. The air in a room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Everyone was waiting for my reaction. I closed my laptop and stood up. "Congratulations to you both. With that, I walked out of the conference room. Behind me, I could hear Sophia's desperate cries. No, Liam, it's not like that. I didn't turn back. Outside the building, I took a deep breath. The truth was finally out. Ethan had finally shed his act, and Sophia was now getting a taste of what it felt like to be used. Was this the outcome they wanted? I pulled out my phone and contacted a recruiter. Find me a new job. The requirements are easy. As far away from Chicago as possible. Sophia had a full breakdown. She didn't come to work the next day. Apparently, she had tried to slash her wrists again at home. This time, even Ethan didn't bother with her. Chris came to me. Liam, Sophia is in a terribly bad way. Just go see her. Chris, I told you her life and death have nothing to do with me. But, no buts. She chose this path for herself. Chris looked at me, his eyes full of bewilderment. Don't you feel any sympathy at all? This is the woman you loved for 7 years. I smiled. The woman I adored for 7 years, Chris, she was never my woman. How can you say that? Because it's the truth. I adored her for 7 years when she was in love with someone else. Now that he doesn't want her, she suddenly remembers how excellent I was and wants me back. On what grounds? She understands she was wrong now. And knowing she's wrong means I have to forgive her. Chris, some mistakes can't be forgiven. Chris said nothing more. He presumably understood, realized that I was never going back. That night, Sophia's mother came to my apartment. She was crying hysterically. Liam, Sophia is dying. The doctor says she has serious depression. If this goes, oh, Mrs. Miller, I know you're worried about Sophia, but I can't assist her. How can you not help? You're the only one she cares about. If I was the only one she cared for, why did she turn me down 7 times? Her mother froze. Mrs. Miller, Sophia is in love with Ethan Vance. She told him so herself. I was only a backup, a means to an end. That's impossible. Since she was a tiny girl, Sophia has always what thought about me as a brother, a friend, a free chauffeur, and 18. Her mother's expression modified. Liam, how can you talk about Sophia like that? Because it's the truth. Mrs. Miller, you know your daughter better than I do. I stood up. I have stuff to do, ma'am. I won't keep you. After she departed, I started packing. The recruiter had already found me a job in Austin over 1,000 miles away. Halfway through packing, Ethan showed up. Liam, we need to chat. We have nothing to talk about. Are you just going to stand by and watch Sophia die? I scoffed. Ethan, why should I care if she dies? Isn't she your girlfriend? Why are you coming to me instead of saving her? Or what? Are you bored of playing with her and want to push her back on me? Ethan's face reddened. What are you talking about? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Ethan, Sophia is your woman. Her life and death are not my problem. She's not my woman. Then why did you announce during the meeting that you were marrying her? Ethan stammered for a pause before ultimately saying, I just wanted her to give up to stop bothering you. I chuckled. What a beautiful excuse. Liam, regardless, Sophia is in danger. Then let her die. Ethan glanced at me in shock. How can you phrase something like that? Why can't I? What do I lose if a woman who tricked me for a fool dies? Yep. Ethan, get out of my apartment and don't ever come to me about Sophia again. I push him out and shut the door. A week later, I departed Chicago. Chris came to see me off at the station. Liam, are you sure about this? I'm sure. What about Sophia? She has Ethan. She has her family. She doesn't need me. Chris sighed. She's still in the hospital asking for you every day. That's her problem. You actually don't have a soft place left for her. I gazed out the window at the city skyline at the place that carried 7 years of my youth and devotion. Chris, do you know what a spare feels like? What? It's when you think you finally discovered bliss, only to know you were simply a pawn in someone else's game. But Sophia now what? Now she regrets it. Now she recognizes how good I was. It's too late. The train started moving and I watched the countryside recede. I was never arriving back to this city. In Austin, I rapidly accustomed to my new work and new life. My new colleagues were polite and no one knew about my past. I could focus on my work, on my life, without thinking about running into someone on a street corner. 2 months later, Chris called me. Liam, Sophia's out of the hospital. Okay, she asked for your address. She might come looking for you. I halted. You gave it to her. No, I'm not that stupid, but she stated she'll find you, no matter what. Let her try. Liam, if she actually finds you, there is no if. Chris, I'm altering my number. Don't contact me again. Wait. I hung up and got a new phone number that same day. New city, new job, new number. I've entirely broken off all links to the past. 6 months later, I met a girl in my new corporation. Her name was Emily, an accountant in the finance department. She was quiet, gentle, didn't say much, but had a beautiful smile. We started dating, movies, dinner, long walks. There was no dramatic, all-consuming emotion, just a peaceful, constant affection. But it was enough. I didn't need to go endure that type of heartbreak ever again. A year later, Emily and I got married. The wedding was basic, simply our families and a few new pals. No one knew about my past. No one mentioned the name Sophia. On our wedding night, Emily asked me, "Did you have a girlfriend before me?" "No." "Then why are you so cautious when it comes to relationships?" I held her tight. "Because I want to make sure I cherish you properly." She grinned and snuggled into my arms. "I want to cherish you too." In that moment, I felt like I had finally found true bliss. 5 years evening, Emily and I had a lovely daughter. We acquired a house in Austin. They were having a regular, happy life. Sometimes I'd reflect about the past, about those 7 years of obsession and misery. But mostly, I was grateful for that experience. If it weren't for Sophia's rejection and betrayal, I would never have met Emily. If I hadn't made that clean break, I wouldn't have the happiness I have today. One day, I was at the mall buying a toy for my daughter. Suddenly, I heard someone call my name, Liam. I looked around and noticed a woman who was both a stranger and frighteningly familiar. Sophia. 5 years have passed. She had altered a lot. She was rail thin. Her hair was stray with gray, and her eyes were vacant. Nothing like the proud, gorgeous woman I recalled. "It really is you." Her voice trembled. I glanced at her, my expression blank. I felt nothing. "You have the wrong individual." I turned and walked away. She yelled after me, "Liam, I've been looking for you for 5 years." I didn't look back. "Liam, I know I was mistaken. Please forgive me." I kept walking. "Liam, I've been waiting for you to come back." I stepped out of the mall. She was still chasing me. "Liam, wait." I paused and turned to face her. "You've made a mistake. I'm not Liam Anderson." She froze, tears streaming down her face. "That's impossible. You were Liam. You have to be." "I am, but I'm not the Liam you knew." "What do you mean?" "The Liam Anderson who would have sobbed for you died. He died 5 years ago." She utterly broke down, sinking to her knees on the pavement, crying uncontrollably. "Liam, please come back. Please." I stared down at her, feeling merely a cold detachment. "Sophia, how you feel right now?" "This is how you made me feel, desperate, powerless, and in pain. I know I was wrong. And does knowing that help?" There are no do-overs in life. I turned and walked away. And this time, I never looked back. I could hear her cries behind me, but my heart was still. When I got home, Emily inquired, "What took you so long?" "Ran into a wild person on the way." "What kind of crazy person?" "Just an unhappy person stuck in the past." My daughter ran up and embraced my leg. "Daddy, did you give me a toy?" I pulled the toy out of the bag. Of course, Daddy never breaches a promise. My daughter giggled pleasantly. Emily grinned, looking at their smiles. I knew this was the most beautiful thing in the world. As for Sophia, she was merely a ghost from another life, a ghost who taught me what sorrow felt like and what it meant to finally wake up. Her purpose in my life was served. I have a new life, a new family, a new happiness. And she is left to dwell in her memory to bear the weight of the anguish she once brought me. That is justice. Not the justice I offered life, but the justice she brought upon herself.